Genesis chapter 32. Now, like I said in the previous chapters, our Bible studies, God says, I'm about to bless you to Jacob. Well, then his father-in-law comes to kill him, so he had to go through that. Well, now his brother Esau is about to come and kill him. So if you're a person, when you listen to this story, I want you to think about something. You're thinking, God just told me he's going to bless me beyond anything I can contain. And then you wake up the next day and bad things start happening to you. That's hard to understand. I told you, whenever God says I'm about to bless someone as the Christian believer, child of God, the enemy shows up immediately and starts to challenge you. But once, it only lasts a very short time, and then the enemy flees because of the word of God, and God has finally had enough and tells the enemy to get away. Now, that may take a few months, or it may take a few weeks, or it just may be a few days. I pray you never suffer in this way, but Christians do. You follow Jesus, the enemy's going to come get you. The devil or some spirit or the world, they're gonna try to tempt you, T-E-M-P, to deny God and curse God. They're going to try to tempt you to not believe. They're trying to tempt your faith, and God is trying to test your faith to make it stronger. Jacob also went on his way, and the angels of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, "This is the camp of God." So he named that place Mahanaim. So did you hear what just happened? Actual angels came and met with Jacob. That's incredible. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau. In the land of Shir, the country of Edom, he instructed them, "This is what you are to say to my lord Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goats, male and female servants. Now I am sending this message to my lord that I may find favor in your eyes." You see, Jacob stole Esau's birthright and the blessing. Now, Esau is a very hard man, and he's not going to forget. He swore an oath, "I will kill Jacob one time. Next time I see him, I'm going to kill him." That's why Jacob had to flee 20 years ago. Now, Jacob is trying to appease his brother anger by sending him like 10% of everything he has ahead of him. When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, "We went to your brother Esau, and now he is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him." Okay, well, you're screwed right there. The brother that wants to kill you is bringing 400 fighting men with him. Jacob has to be trembling in his boots with complete fear. "Lord, I thought you said you were going to bless me. Now my brother's coming to kill me." In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into two groups, and the flocks and herds and camels as well. He thought, if Esau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. Then Jacob prayed, "O God of my father Abraham." And now he did the right thing right here. Whenever you have these kind of feelings, fall down on your knees and start praying and crying out to Jesus Christ. Whenever you have temptation, fall on your knees and cry out to Jesus. Whenever you have anything like this, fall down and cry out to Jesus. Start praying immediately for the answer. O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you have said to me, go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I have only my staff when I cross the Jordan, but now I have become 2 camps. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers and their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper and will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. He spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, and 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls. But it's a lot of livestock. And 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He put them in the care of his servants, each herd by itself, and said to his servants, go ahead of me and keep some pace between the herds. He instructed the one in the lead, when my brother Esau meets you and asks, who do you belong to and where are you going and who owns all these animals in front of you? Then you are to say, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us. He also instructed the second and the third and all the others who followed the herds. You are to say the same thing to Esau when you meet him, and be sure to say, your servant Jacob's coming behind us. For he thought, I will pacify him with these gifts, and I am sending on ahead later. When I see him, perhaps he will receive me. So Jacob's gifts went on ahead of him, and he himself spent the night in the camp. Well, he's very fearful for his life right now. He thinks his brother's coming to kill him, and I believe his brother's coming to kill him. That night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until daybreak. This is where the story, Jacob wrestled with God, the Lord. He was probably in such distress, thinking, in the morning I'm going to die. He's having trouble keeping his faith here, and he believes that he's about to be killed. Wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, let me go, for it is daybreak. Now, I don't have the answer to this. This is a very mysterious story. You can look it up further if you want. I'm sure there's people with a lot of opinions about it, but the man asked him, what is your name? Jacob, he answered. Then the man said, your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel. So they started calling Jacob the house of Israel. Now listen very carefully here. Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome. To me, this says Jesus Christ all over it. Jesus struggled with God on the cross and with sin and with humans and has overcome. Jesus has overcome and finished all the work. See, you're not supposed to be down on this earth because just spending, 50, 60 hours a week trying to become wealthy. That is not God's plan for any believer's life at all. If he wants you to be wealthy, he'll just make you wealthy. Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." Somehow, in my opinion, Jesus Christ came down in flesh and wrestled with Jacob at the beginning of the start of the house of Israel. That's just my opinion. I'm sure there's a lot of pastors and ministers and preachers that have a much better opinion than I do. It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared. That's a fascinating story. The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. He had a limp the rest of his life because he wrestled with God as a man. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon.